Hey friends, Jessica Mason here with another episode of Sober Story. So today we are going to talk about the Jack story. This is something my dad told me when I was young, and I have used it in coaching frequently and often need to be reminded of it myself, which I think is what these videos are. So there was a guy driving down a country road late at night, just enjoying the summer air, passes some farms, but then really gets out into the middle of nowhere. And he gets a flat tire. So he goes to change his tire and he doesn't have a jack. And he's like, oh man, what am I gonna do? Oh, there was that farmhouse way back. I'll walk back there. So he's walking along and he starts feeling kind of bad. He's like, man, this is the middle of the night. Like, I'm gonna be waking this guy up. I feel badly about going to his door. He walks on a little bit more and he's like, man, it's just getting later. This guy's probably asleep. I'm gonna be waking him up from a dead sleep. That's awful. I feel terrible. Walks on a little bit more, and he starts thinking, man, this guy's a farmer. He gets up early. He's been working all day, and he needs his sleep. And here, some city guy is going to be coming to his door, banging on it in the middle of the night, and that's just really inconsiderate of me. I feel terrible. And he starts walking along, and he thinks, boy, he's going to get mad. He's going to be mad that the city slicker is knocking on his door in the middle of the night, disrupting his sleep. That's really going to piss him off. Walks on further. Oh man, he's gonna yell. He's gonna yell at me as soon as he opens that door. He's gonna be furious with me. Walks on a little bit more. He's thinking, you know what, this guy's probably armed. He's a farmer. He lives out in the middle of nowhere. He may come to the door with a shotgun. This might be dangerous for me. And starts walking a little bit more. And he's tired at this point. He's been walking and thinking and talking to himself, and it's very tiring, as I know. And he starts thinking, you know, I'm the one who's walking. I'm the guy with the flat tire, and I have no other choice. Like, I have to go to this guy's door. I'm the one who's inconvenienced here. Walks on a little bit more. Yeah, you know what? I'm the one that's putting holes in my shoes. I didn't make my tire go flat. This guy doesn't have any right to be mad at me. I'm just doing what I gotta do. Walks on a little bit more. You know, I'm out here in the middle of nowhere, no options. I go to this guy for help, and here he's going to come to the door yelling at me and armed, and all I'm needing is a little bit of help. Like, where does this guy get off? Walks on a little bit more, and the longer he walks, the angrier he gets that this guy is going to be mad at him for needing help when he was just the guy who needed help. And by the time he gets there, he's so enraged that he pounds on the guy's door. The guy opens it, and this man says, you know what? You can keep your jack and shove it, and walks back off. So that's the Jack story. The Jack story is about how we think things are going to go and how we build it up in our heads to be worst case scenario. And it often comes from a place of, trying to be, empathetic, like how I'm making this other person feel. And then we feel indignant, like, well, but how dare that person feel this way when I'm the one, we tell ourselves these stories and then end up manifesting them. So I dog sat for a family that I have worked with for quite a while now, even helped with the family. I was very, very connected to this family. And I've always had multiple jobs. I mean, I run a studio and a fitness program and a nonprofit. And I mean, I have my own kids and my own dogs. I've always had other stuff. But when my ex cut off medical funding, I had to take on every job that I could get. So I've been working hard. I've been burning the candle at both ends because I had to. The surgery and functional therapy was out of pocket. I had to. So this last time I dog sat, and I think I shared a picture, the dogs misbehaved and chewed up the wooden stairs in this gorgeous Solterra home. And I was told, they can only be home for a few hours alone or they start chewing on things. So I was home like every few hours. I was never gone. I think the longest I was gone was the one night I taught for the longest time. And that was the longest time. That was like over 4 hours. But normally it was up to 3 hours. I walked them 3 times a day. I was wearing them out. And they misbehaved. They did what dogs do. He's a puppy. And I think a lot of it was, the humans being gone. But they were upset. They were upset that the dogs were home alone so much. And that was what they said. They said they were just home alone too much this week. And that was the end of the communication. So I started walking down my country road and I started telling myself my stories. Like I felt awful. Like I can't believe that I let them down. They, trusted me with their house and their dogs, and I feel like I let both of them down. And then I walked on a little further and I was like, you know, they didn't hire me for 24 hours. They hired me to dog sit. And I followed the instructions. I was gone for a few hours at a time. I followed it. It didn't end up working out, but it was an accident. I walked on a little bit further. You know, they have, you know, 100 times the income that I do. I'm trying to work all these jobs to pay for my surgery, and here they are not paying me. That's an important part of the story. Last communication meant I hadn't gotten paid yet. And so the longer this went on, and I knew I needed to reach out, but I had done my Jack story for so long. First I was embarrassed, and then I was worried, and then I was indignant, and all of it was coming from me, that I was telling myself this story about what their response would be. And so I wasn't even asking to get paid. I was just being upset about not being paid. So I texted this morning, and I texted when I sat down to film this video, and I was going to film the video without even a response, because the response is irrelevant. I just needed to stand up and say, hey, I haven't gotten paid yet. But I was prepared for whatever came next. And as I was sitting here opening my phone to record, I got back, oh no, you know, my husband just got home tonight, we'll send it today. And that was it. I simply walked to the door and nicely asked for a Jack, and they gave it to me. That doesn't negate the fact that, you know, I could have done things a little bit differently. It doesn't negate the fact that they were upset about what happened. But the way that played out was much worse in my head. And I think that often is true. So I refer to the Jack story frequently in my coaching, and I'm going to really try to implement that in my life. So if you're watching this, I'd like you to try to think of a time that you told yourself a Jack story. And maybe even play it out. Like, how did it happen? Or did you even pursue it? Or did you just slam the door in the guy's face and tell him to keep his Jack? And if you'd like to reach out, I'd like to know. I'd like to know how this has played out in your life, or even better, how something plays out differently after watching this video. Thanks.